Hello students, today we will continue our topic air and water. In our last video we have learnt about the air, the different layers of the atmosphere, and we learnt about the composition of air. If you haven't watched that video, kindly watch that first and then come back to this video. So water is as important as air is for survival. Yes. About 70% of our Earth's surface is covered with water. The water is not only found in rivers, oceans and seas, but it is also present in the underground areas of the earth. Yes, we see water as in rivers, oceans and seas, but underground, if we dig, you will find water. It is present inside the earth's surface also, because 70% of our earth is covered with water only. Now, we have already read in the previous classes that water changes its state on heating and cooling. This we have learned in our junior classes, like what is evaporation and what is condensation. I will just give a quick brief about this topic. Evaporation, process in which water on heating changes to water vapor form, that is boiling of water. And condensation is a reverse of evaporation, that is converting the water vapor on cooling into a liquid form, that is water. Just reverse process, evaporation and condensation. Now today in this video we will be specifically discussing about the impurities in water. Let's discuss them. Impurities in water. Impurities means the dirt, the dust. What is the water safe for drinking or not? Is the water healthy? Is the water containing any dissolved chemicals or substances which we are not able to see with through our eyes, but the water can be dirty? So we will find out each and everything. Water we get from rivers, ponds, wells, etc. is impure. Yes, that is not fit for drinking. It is due to the impurities that get dissolved in water, which are called as soluble impurities also, and which do not dissolve in water are called as insoluble impurities. Like I give you a simple example, salt, sugar are the soluble impurities, that because they mix in water, you are not able to find out whether the water is salty or not until and unless you taste it. And insoluble impurities like mud, sand, stones, you can see them they are visible from the glass. You can see by the appearance of water that it is not at all good for the drinking purpose. So soluble impurities are also there and insoluble impurities are also there. I hope the soluble and insoluble are clear to you. Soluble means which are mixed in the water and you are not able to see them through naked eyes, and insoluble means that impurities like sand, chalk powder, which can be seen by looking at the water only. This water must be purified in order to make suitable for drinking and other purposes. So first of all, we will discuss about removal of insoluble impurities from water. How we will remove the insoluble impurities which are not mixed in, which are not at all thoroughly mixed into the water. Two processes are there, sedimentation and decantation. It is one method, and next method is filtration. Let's see the and decantation. This is a very simple method. You can also try it at home. In this method, we take a beaker which is mixed with insoluble impurity. That means like you can take a glass of water and mix sand in it. Then leave the beaker or the glass to settle down it for some time without disturbing it. You will find that all the sand will collect at the bottom of the beaker and clear water is collected on the upper side of the glass. This process is called as sedimentation. What is sedimentation? That the insoluble impurities settle down at the bottom of the beaker is called as sedimentation. That is the first picture. Now what you can do, you can take out the clear water into another glass without disturbing the impurities which are settled at the bottom of the beaker. That is called as decantation. In the next picture you can see that the clear water is taken out with the help of a glass rod and without disturbing the sand, that is the sediment, without disturbing the sand particles or whatever impurity which were present in the water. That is process is called as decantation. I hope this process is clear to you. Next process is, in this method what happens, insoluble impurities like sand are separated from water using a filter paper. Filtration means using of filter paper. You take a paper, make a cone out of it and then pass the dirty water through that filter paper by using a funnel. So all the dirt will be collected in the filter paper and pure water will be collected down in the beaker. A cone of filter paper is made and kept inside the funnel. The mixture of water and sand is poured in through a funnel by using a glass rod. The sand does not pass through the filter paper and remains behind on the filter paper as a residue. The water is now clear from the impurities and is collected down in the beaker, which is called as filtrate. This is called as the method of filtration. So these were the two methods for removing the insoluble impurities that does not mix in the water. But now what about the removal of soluble impurities from water? See from the naked eyes, you cannot make out that whether this water consists of any impurities or not. So two methods are there. One is very easy method, that is evaporation or boiling method, which everybody does at their home. And second is distillation. This is the scientific method or laboratory method basically. Let's understand both these methods. Evaporation, you all have seen that in this what happens in this method. In this, the solution containing soluble impurities, that is a dirty water or whatever water you have, which needs to be tested, is heated. After some time the water gets evaporated. Because the water vapor, evaporation takes place, we know that the water will convert into water vapor on heating and the impurities are left behind in the beaker itself. Yes, it is called as evaporation. By using this method you can test whether the water is containing soluble impurities or not. Distillation, very important method. In this method both impurities and clean water are obtained. Yes, because in the evaporation method the clean water was not obtaining, right? That was a drawback of that method. We were only able to obtain the dirt, but we need water also, na? So distillation is a method where both impurities and clean water are obtained. In this method the solution containing soluble impurities like salt and water are heated in the flask. You can see a round bottom flask which consists of salt and water and it has been heated. As the phenomenon says, when water is heated the water vapor starts rising and it changes into, and the impurities are left behind in the flask. Same concept of evaporation has happened here, right? But now we collected the water vapor and passes through a condenser which is kept cool by the cold water circulated around it. Now we are using the water vapor again. Now we are not making sure that the water vapor go up into the atmosphere. No, we are trapping that water vapor and cooling it down. That is condensation process we are doing, right? So we are cooling the water vapor and with the help of condenser, and on cooling the water vapor changes back into the water. We all know that this pure water is collected in the separate flask. Distilled water is the purest form of water, first of all, and it does not contain any impurities or germs. This water is mainly used in car batteries, science experiments and in the medical industry for making medicines. So the only distilled water is being used for making medicines, in car batteries and in science experiments, so that they reach up to a very good approximate value. So this was about the removal of soluble impurities from water. Two methods: evaporation and distillation. For healthy living, clean water is necessary for drinking. Impure water contains germs and it causes diseases. So we can do boiling, that is simplest way of purifying water. Water is heated for 10 to 15 minutes, we all know that, and it kill all the germs and makes the water pure. Chlorination is second method. In this method, chlorine is added to water to kill the germs and make the water pure. And last is water purifier, which everybody has nowadays at their homes. That electric water purifiers are also used in many places to get pure water. So this was about water. We have learned about what are the impurities of water, soluble and insoluble, and how you can remove both these impurities. I hope you have understood the concept. Have a nice day. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel.